Hello everybody, this is Steven from Simply Nerdy, and I'm joined today by Anthony.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
And as you all know, we had our Indie World Direct this morning, and so we wanted to have a little discussion about what we thought about it. Needless to say, if you saw my reaction video, to me, there was some ups and there was some downs, and then there was some, the grudges. Anthony, do you want to just...
I just wanted to kind of add my thoughts and impressions to Steven's that you've already seen from the previous video. I didn't get a chance to watch it when it was premiering, so I watched it when I got home. And I've kind of basically categorized my interests by the following categories. First of all, the top is the interested category. That's about as high as I can get it at this point because all of these are kind of out of the woodwork, so we'll see how they turn out. But my interested category, my maybe category, my meh category, and then last of all, this one's kind of the I don't know what I think yet category, is what I call the what the grudge category.
I love these categories.
Yeah, so I'll start with the ones that really stood out to me. The first was the one they started with, Blue Fire. That one looks like it could be a lot of fun. I'm a pretty big sucker for 3D platformers, and that one looks like it's got some fun combat elements to it as well. So
it looks like a lot of fun. That's what first caught my eye too, is the 3D platforming. It looked awesome.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one. So far, I think the only thing I'd say is that sometimes the camera angle seems a little disorienting, but I don't think in the end that's going to be a big problem, and it looks like it's really cool. So that one was probably the top of my list. And then next after that was Baldo. I guess we don't have a whole lot that we know about, what the game is, other than it's some sort of action-adventure RPG kind of game. Anyhow, so yeah, that one looks really cool. It looks like it might even have some kind of dungeon crawling, puzzle-solving elements, which are things I always love. So that one's looking really fun. And again, I love the...
Especially for Zelda fans.
Oh, yes. Yes, and you all know we're definitely two of those. So, and then again, I also, the Studio Ghibli art style is just really fun. So that one's kind of stand out for me. Another one that's more like a guilty pleasure that is next on my list is Bark. Looks utterly ridiculous, but
it looks so much fun.
It
kind of reminds me of Contra in a way.
Yeah. I'm kind of a sucker for a good shmup, and that one looks like it could be a fun one. Especially so, and the thing that I think has me most excited about it is that I'm always struggling to find fun, simple couch games that I can play with my wife, because our interests are so different when it comes to games, and anyway, so that one looks like it would be an easy one for us to get into, and so that puts it near the top of my list too. So the next one for me was The Last Campfire. That one, it really kind of screamed Zelda-style puzzle-solving, dungeon-crawling stuff, and it looks really cool. And so, I'm always a sucker for that kind of game. So that one's up there.
And it looks beautiful.
Yeah, I like the art style a lot.
The art style is awesome.
So there was that. Then next for me was Eldest Souls. I'm definitely a fan of basically any RPG, and especially the kind that looked to be a challenge, and it looks like this is both. So that one's up there. And then I think the last two, Moving Out, that was shown at the I think during the sizzle reel at the end. That one is a question mark, and the only reason I say that,
here it goes.
And Steven's going to call me
I'm going to call you out. I am. You're a hater.
It looks like it could be a really fun co-op game, but it also gives me some strong Overcooked vibes.
There you go.
Or heebie-jeebies.
Oh boy.
See, the problem with Overcooked is that game stresses me out. Like, why
it's so much fun.
No, Steven. Okay,
I love it.
Let me just tell you this. That level in Overcooked 1, when you're on the freaking buses and people are screaming for their orders and you have to wait for the buses to come back together and you keep falling off. I did not enjoy that. That is kind of like my experience with that game in a microcosm right there. So,
Oh man.
so
I beat it, just so you all know. 1 and 2. Thank you very much. I love them. This game, I cannot wait for moving out. It's right up my alley.
Yeah, well,
This is
I mean, if
definitely
you
one I'm
enjoyed
gonna get.
Overcooked, then I'm sure
I
it is.
love it. Yes.
And
If you like Overcooked, this one's for you. If not, if you're a hater like Anthony, join the Haters Club. And
you're being a goob. I'm not necessarily a hater. It just stresses me out.
whatever.
And this one, that's why I say I'm cautiously interested, because it looks like it could be a fun, different take on that. Maybe with a little bit less of the angry customer screaming for orders feel, which is part of what drove me nuts. Anyway,
Day
so
one purchase.
that one's on my radar. And then the last one was Exit the Gungeon. I didn't play the first one, but this...
I have not either.
It looks cool, and it kind of looks like it's one of those where there's the bullets flying everywhere. Sometimes I just really enjoy those where you're trying to dodge through all that, and it makes me feel cool when I succeed. I don't know. Anyway, it looks like it's a fun one. Those are all my interested ones, and mind you, except for moving out, I didn't really list any in the sizzle reel because I don't feel like there was enough there to kind of give me an idea of what to think or expect. So I'm going to leave those out, except for moving out. Moving on my meh list, this is just me. The first one was Summer and Mara. The game looks pretty, but I don't know. I'm not the style of gamer who enjoys slice of life type games. That one's kind of just, maybe it'll be good, but I don't know if it's for me, even if it is kind of games. And then same deal with Faria. That kind of looks, it has a lot of really strong Hearthstone vibes to it, and that's also not my style. Those are there. On my maybe list, there's only one here, is the Quantum League. That one looks like it could be very interesting. I'm not sure how they're going to do some, an online multiplayer where you can basically rewind time.
I think it sounds kind of cool.
It's a cool concept. I'm just having I'm trying to figure out how they're going to make that a mechanic that can have a game built around it. I presume they've already figured that out. I'm waiting to see how they did it, And then finally, What the Grudge. These ones are either...
This is a really happy category.
just more like I don't even know basically what I watched or what this game is, even after watching the trailer.
Exactly, so you left with more questions than answers, basically.
Sure, yeah. So the first one was I Am Dead.
Yes, that is number one.
I mean, like, I was just sitting there like, why am I, using my supernatural ghostly powers to look in shirtless people's handbags? I mean, why?
You never know what you're gonna find.
What? I mean, but what's the plot point to that? Why do I have a museum? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. Maybe they murdered you, and you have to find out who murdered you.
Okay,
after
maybe.
You're dead.
I mean, it looks like it could be interesting. I'm definitely open to the type of games that introduce a really new, untried style or genre, and so these games that I have on this list are not necessarily completely ruled out. They're just more like, I don't even know what that is yet. So tell me more, and we'll see what happens. Joining that is Freakpocalypse from Cyanide and Happiness. That's another one where I'm just not even sure what the whole point is. So I'll just leave that there. The Good Life. That was another really weird one. I mean, I guess I don't know why, turning into cats and dogs and running around is interesting yet. I mean, it could be. What's the plot? What's the driving factor here? It just seemed really weird. Anyway, and then the last one was Eden 2. It looks like it could be one of those like closet sleeper hits where it's just really cool. I just have no idea what the gameplay is. Basically they were saying it kind of creates itself as you play, and I'm like, cool, what am I playing? What do I do? I don't even know how to describe it. Just you're like this little dot flying around in a kaleidoscope. So I don't even know what that is. So anyway, those are my thoughts.
And those are our thoughts, because I totally agree with Anthony's list, because those are the exact same ones. If you're watching my reaction video, those are the ones I was interested in. And the other ones I was like,
And that was not planned.
It was definitely not planned.
There you go.
So Anthony, I have a question for you. Which one of these are you most excited for? Out of all the announcements today, if you could go with your number one hype pick, which one would it be?
Shoot.
Because I know that you and I do not see eye to eye on this one.
Really?
Because mine is moving out.
Oh, well, moving out. Sure. Hey, that could change. Like I said, that could change.
So excited for that game.
I mean, if I were to narrow it down to two, I'd probably say it comes down to either Blue Fire or The Last Campfire. But if I had to pick between the two, I guess I'd maybe say The Last Campfire, just because, I mean, while the platforming action and the combat looked really cool in Blue Fire, I feel like there's still a lot more for me to be told before I completely understand like all the mechanics in the game. I mean, okay, the platforming part is obvious. You're jumping between platforms, but the combat, like, I'd want to know more about that before I could really weigh in as with a full opinion. But The Last Campfire just seems like the type of game that just you know what you're doing as soon as you watch it. There's puzzles that you're solving, and you're trying to, I guess, revive these people who have turned to stone or something like that. And
it's really cool.
I'm a really big fan of traditional Zelda puzzle solving, and so when I saw that that's kind of the MO they were going for, it really drew me in. So I guess if I had to pick one, I'd say it was that. For the presentation overall, I wasn't expecting to have really much of anything that interested me. I agree. Even now, I'm still holding my breath for the big Nintendo Direct that we're still needing to happen soon. I'm actually kind of pleasantly surprised by this one because even though I didn't know about any of these before they were announced, I came out with more things I was interested in than not. So
I actually agree with that. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get anything out of this, but no, I came out with like at least a handful of titles that I'm willing to purchase. So that was a pleasant surprise for me as well.
Yeah.
But let us know down in the comments what you thought was the highlight of the presentation, and if you said moving out, then you can join me in the club. And until next time,
keep it nerdy, guys.